Hey, guys, Altovise here, host of the Unmuted Intelligence Podcast. Wow. Like, I think that was the initial response from everyone that either saw the Oscars live, witnessed the loads of social media posts, the memes, everything that occurred afterwards. Wow. And so this episode is one that I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to go a little deeper. Because here at the Unmuted Intelligence Podcast, that's what it's about. It's about not just seeing what's on the surface, not just seeing what the media shares, but actually going ahead and diving in a little deeper for your health, your mind, and for business, if that's what you need when you come to this podcast. So when I say the slap seen, not heard, seen around the globe, we're talking about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. And it was after Chris Rock made an inappropriate joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. And there's so many different things to discuss here, but I think a lot of it has already been covered in many different arenas when it comes to media. Here's something that I think people did not pay attention to as much because they were so focused on the initial act. And so at break, when they broke and went to commercial, Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry go over to the corner and talk to Will Smith. I'm going to tell you why this is so significant. They finish talking, and then Will is on his way back to his seat, and Bradley Cooper walks up to him. Again, I'm going to tell you why this is so significant, especially now in the era that we are in. Will sits back down. They move forward with the show. He wins for Best Actor. And instead of giving this elaborate speech that he could have given because he did put in the work to receive this award, he took it as a time to apologize. Now, here's why I say we have to go deeper. I did a post on social media maybe a week ago from the time of this happening. And it was a car. Somebody had busted out the windows. They had flattened the tires. And I was like, well, apparently somebody's been listening to Jasmine Sullivan, but it started a thought process in my head because we have people that lead with their heart and people that lead with their head. We need both in the world. Like, we need people that are heart-centered. We need people that are, they lead with the head and they think about the calculations and the numbers. We need both sides of those people. But we also need accountability. And when we look at the root of what happened, it was a human moment. There's so many people that, they're putting so many other stamps on it and stickers on it and labels on it. And it was a human moment. You said something disrespectful about his wife. He responded in the moment, in the emotion. It was a heart response. Here's the thing. The accountability came when Denzel and Tyler Perry were talking to him off to the side. Y'all, that I can't stress to you how valuable that was. To not only see it, and mind you, of course, the media didn't, play as much of that. But to see it was powerful. Here's the other thing, is that when he was walking back, again, Bradley Cooper walked up to him and was talking to him and embraced him. Here's the thing that we forget when it comes to men and mental health. Here's the thing that we forget when it comes to being a man. Is we tell them that they shouldn't be emotional. that they shouldn't show emotion, that it should be full on anger all the time, or, but we want them to be loving. We want them to be kind. We want them to be all of these things. But in the training of men, that's not what really comes out. To see these men step up in such a way, to see them in the midst of what was going on, stand up and say, I'm standing beside you, bring you back to your, center you. Let's bring you back to where you are right now in this moment. It is so just, it's a beautiful thing, because for so long our men have gone through so much mentally, emotionally, and they go through and they have addictions and they have suicidal thoughts and they have all of these things because they have everything bottled up, because that's what they were taught. They had to bottle it all up. So not only to see that happen, and then to see Will come back and apologize, that was significant, because Chris Rock did not apologize publicly on that stage where he made that inappropriate joke. So that showed you the difference when it comes to having the heart or the head, lead when it comes to emotional situations, things of the heart for sure. It's crazy because he made mention, and I'll quote it exactly what Will said. Will said, you got to be able to have people talk crazy about you in this business. You got to be able to have people disrespecting you, and you've got to smile. You got to pretend like that's okay. Can I just say that this was a real moment? And what Denzel said to him in this part, y'all, just pay close attention. At your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you. Now, I don't know what Bradley Cooper said. I would love to find out what he said to him, or what Tyler might have said in that moment. But it's something completely different than just what's being in the media. Ultimately, they were both wrong. I stand by that 100%. They were both wrong. It was one who was making a head decision, trying to get a rise out of the crowd. Now, mind you, when he made this inappropriate joke, you actually heard the audience, you heard the disgust go across the audience. And it's interesting because I found myself in one of the Twitter spaces afterwards, and they were discussing it. And I heard somebody say, well, he only did that because he was laughing at first. And people don't understand human nature at times. I think we kind of sit back and kind of push it to the side. But human nature is you try to let things slide. But if you look at your sister, your mother, your wife, or your daughter, and you see the face that Jada made, would you be okay? It's easy to say, oh, he should have thought about that. When you look at, I'm a mother of 4. I have 3 girls, 1 boy. When I look into their face and I see pain, as a parent, there is a switch that is turned on. As a mother, that happens. That's the heart, right? So we have to go and definitely put it into perspective. It was a human moment. That's exactly what it was, a human moment. Now we have to think about it, because in this human moment, 2 people made a bad decision. Chris Rock, who already knows the microaggressions that happen when it comes to African American women in their hair, who already knows that she's been very vocal. Jada's been very vocal on social media about this journey with hair loss over the years and alopecia. So, needless to say, as a human being, you didn't read the room. Let's just be honest. You didn't read the room. And apparently you didn't have the accountability to come back and apologize publicly on the same stage that you humiliated her from. Like that part right there. Because when we think about as women, as an African American woman, I know that we get our bodies torn apart on the regular. As a speaker, as a podcast, listen, I've had people say all types of things to me, okay? Even in the church, okay? I've had people say all types of stuff, come out their mouth sideways. But you have to be able to read the room. Like you did not read the room. There's no way. There's no way. There were so many significant things that were being celebrated during the Oscars that evening. There's no way that you could have thought that was a good look. Come on. Really? So you were doing it for the applause. You was doing it to get a rise out of somebody. And you got a rise out of Will in the wrong way. Ultimately. I know that for us, we want to put celebrities on this pedestal. We want to make them superheroes, right? We want to make it like they can handle anything. They have the perfect relationships. They have the perfect lives. But guys, listen, there's celebrities that are committing suicide left and right. There are people making bad decisions. There are celebrities going to jail. They're still human. And while it's easy to think that they have to live up to our expectation of what we think they should be and who we think they should be or what we think they should do, they in all actuality don't have to live up to that expectation. That expectation is false. It's not real. It's one that we've made up as society in our head. We've said that they have to be perfect. We've said that they're still human. They still make bad money choices. They still get emotional. They're still human. I have to say this though in this episode. And this, share this one. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We're in a season where men are tired of being, they're tired. Women, they're tired. Different cultures, they're tired. Like, have you not seen the things that are going? People are tired of dealing with the status quo and thinking that they always have to wear this mask in order for them to be considered human. And so every man that you know, pour into them. Every woman that you know, pour into them. That should have never been okay to say that to her from that stage on that platform. So it made me look at him and say, look at Chris and say, well, Chris Rock, what made you think that was okay? I get it that you're a comedian. But there was a line and you crossed it. Like, y'all, can you understand this? Like, there was a clear line, like bold line. And you jumped over that thing. Okay? Like you was jumping the broom. You jumped over it. And then got knocked back on the other side. That's ultimately what happened. Now, mind you, I'm speaking from experience. I'm a Philly girl through and through, born and raised. Most of my life I was spent in Philadelphia. I understand the environment that we were raised in, and you know, that act first, think later mentality sometimes that pops up when you are in an emotional state. But looking at that, I'm like, Chris Rock, what are we doing? Like, you legit made a whole movie called Good Hair. and said, it was because of some questions your daughter had about her hair. And then you go and you disrespect a black woman when it comes to her hair. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. But again, human. People talk about doing it for, it used to be do it for the Vine. Then was, do it for the gram. Well, he was doing it for the Oscars. And he got a lot more notoriety for it than probably what he thought. But he was doing it for the Oscars, y'all. So that's that moment where we go back and we reflect. So now after that, we know that Chris did not press charges. We don't know if that may change or anything, in the future. But Chris did not press charges against Will. They decided that they were going to handle it. I really feel like there's so many different underlining things that are going on right now, and people are just like. But when I tell you that the responses have been all over the place, from people saying that that Will shouldn't be in trouble. Chris got what he deserved. There was people that were saying that it was just a joke. Get over it, like that. And it's again, when we get back to it's our own personal lens that we're looking at this situation through. It's our glasses. Sometimes you got to take off the glasses that have been your personal experience, the glasses that are what the media is showing you. Because here's the thing, the media focused on a couple things. Here's one of the things that stood out. So they were talking about how Will was laughing when that joke initially was said. And I said, what people forget is that when they're panning from camera to camera, sometimes there's a delay, there's a lag. But you do see the moment when Jada's face completely changes, you also see Will was laughing before the face change, but his face, you saw the smile start to go away. They moved from his face at that moment to the other camera that was on Chris. So we don't know the full aspect of what happened. We don't know if he looked at his wife. We don't know. We literally don't know. But again, that's what the media shows, because that's what they're supposed to do, right? It's supposed to be intense, right? Come on. This is movie magic. Be careful, y'all, because this movie magic will make you think that you're seeing things that you ain't really seeing. Be careful with that. Some people heard what he said. Some people didn't hear what he said. Then here's the other thing that popped up and was pretty interesting. Some people were like, oh, it's a publicity stunt. What? What are we doing? I didn't think it was scripted. It was scripted. Did you not see Chris Rock's soul jump out his body? Like you did? That was scripted? No, bruh. Now, mind you, Will's an actor. Got it. So y'all were like, yeah, it was scripted and this and that. But did you see Chris Rock face that I don't believe that was scripted, you guys. Now, granted, things happen and stranger things have happened. But guys, I think that was pretty genuine. We have to get back to the main thing being the main thing. And that is when it comes to situations where we are even telling a joke about someone, you need to be survey the room. What what did you think was fitting to happen? I don't understand. And another part of it is because, again, we've been taught to take it. And that was one of the things that Will said, is that they've been taught to kind of fake it, just laugh it off. Well, he took the mask off yesterday. Welcome to the Prince of Bel-Air. He took off the mask. Now, the West Philadelphia born and raised, y'all got to see that part. Y'all haven't seen that part. Y'all got to see that part. And that will probably be forever seared into our minds. We will not get that out of our head. And it's so sad because it casts a shadow on so many significant things that were celebrated at the Oscars. And yet and still, this is where we are. Again, a very human moment. So to every man that listens to Unmuted Intelligence Podcast, if somebody sent this to you, if you came across it just by happenstance, you saw it and decided you liked the cover art, whatever reason drew you to this episode, I want you to hear me and hear me clearly. Rise up. Rise up. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter what happened last week, rise up because you can do better. You have another day. You have an opportunity. And you may not always be able to fix everything that is broken. You may not ever be able to, go and kind of put back together the pieces, but you can start from where you are. Will going and apologizing was him starting from where he was in that moment. That speaks volumes. Like reality check. I don't care if you're listening to this and you in a prison. I don't care if you're listening to this and you just lost everything. You just went bankrupt. Whatever that is, no matter what it was before now, you still have right now. That's what being unmuted is about. Again, going deeper than what everybody's talking about, what everybody's posting. No, going deeper than that. Today, you start fresh. You may be a little bruised. You may have some scars. Listen, I understand you may even be a little sore, but you can still start fresh from today. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. It's a mindset. Y'all, that's how you continue to be unmuted. Make sure that you go ahead. Let me know how this episode resonated with you. I love being able to come and share stuff with you guys. Y'all, we got things happening out here in these streets. I'm looking forward. I'm making some adjustments to the Unmuted podcast because we've been seeing how things have been working. But man, y'all know I'm always going to make sure that y'all continue to get what you need to become and stay unmuted. With that being said, I'm your host, Altovise. And until next time, make sure you continue to be unmuted.